Welcome to another episode of One-on-One. My name is David and I'm joined by Dr. Emilie. How are you, Emilie?
I'm great, Dave. Thanks for inviting me back.
Well, it's great to have you here. As you know, Dr. Emilie heads up the child psychologist and counselor team that supports all of our Kids Hope USA national network. And along the way, they have accumulated years worth of questions that have come to them from mentors and directors out across the country. What we've done is we've selected a few of the most popular questions, and that's what we're going to address. So, Emilie, let's just dive right into it. Wonderful. The mentoring year is starting.
It's so exciting.
It is. It's great, and there's all sorts of excitement. However, the question is this: how do I mentor and establish boundaries and communication channels right from the very start?
That's a great question. And honestly, the beginning of the year can be very exciting, but it can also cause lots of anxiety. So it's really important as you begin mentoring your student to start thinking about what are some of the expectations that I have and how do I begin setting clear boundaries right from the beginning. And it really is all about setting clear expectations. So even the first time you meet with your student, you can talk to them about how you intend to spend your time. And more than anything, Dave, it's so important to be consistent about that time and that location that you'll be meeting. Because when you do those things, that offers safety and security and dependability that kids can count on when they're building relationship.
Okay, and so it's very deliberate is the word, as far as start off being deliberate with the communications.
Right.
And then talk about establishing a rhythm so that your student knows what to expect.
Exactly. I like to think about breaking up my mentoring hour into 3 different sections: a beginning, a middle, and an end. So at the beginning, it might be helpful to think of a question you can ask that might be the same every week.
Okay.
Do you do that in your mentoring relationship?
Yeah, my little guy and I have this whole routine we go through whenever we see one another, as far as a handshake. Hi, how are you? How are you, Mr. Dave? And we kind of laugh about it, but it definitely breaks the ice and gets us going.
It does. And handshakes can be wonderful ways to do that. Right. You can create your own unique handshake based on what your student even wants to do. That can be a great way to start a relationship.
But you're so right, as far as when there is a rhythm, a predictable rhythm, then a student who maybe has some unpredictability in life can now start to rely on something that's very, very predictable, meaning the time that you spend with him or her.
Yes, and following that rhythm then gives students that consistency. So they know that at the beginning, they begin with a greeting, and then maybe you start working on some academics during that middle phase of your time together. Or maybe even during that middle phase, you talk about taking turns. I'll choose something that I want to do for a little while, and then you can choose something that you want to do. And that develops a nice social skill for the student as well. And then if you can end with a similar ritual each time you're seeing each other, that again creates that predictability that we were talking about.
That sounds great. And it sounds like be deliberate here in the first few meetings, really from the first meeting on, as far as here's how we're going to do this. We're going to take turns, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
Yes.
That will help a student out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for those tips, Dr. Emilie, because all that you've shared with us and all that your team shares with us helps all of our mentors and students enjoy life together, because we all know that life together is life at its best.